Yo, what's good? Big Z here, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to turn your bass lines from this to this. I've got 4 easy tips for you to make your bass lines sound cooler and more professional. Make sure you stick around for the last tip because I think it's the most important one and it's so easy to do. First tip, if you want your bass to have maximum impact, you want to keep the root note frequencies between 40 Hz and 80 Hz. By root note, I just mean the lowest frequency you can see your bass playing on the frequency spectrum. So on an EQ, just put a point at 40 Hz and 80 Hz and keep it in that range. If one or more of your notes are outside that range, you have 2 options. You can change the whole key of the track so all those notes fit within the range. And if just one note is really outside the range, then you can just change the octave of that note until it fits. So I said most notes need to be within that range, not all of them, which brings me to tip number 2. Add octave jumps to bring more movement into your bass line. So just take a note at the end of a phrase or in between 2 important notes and just jump it up an octave. And you could do this multiple times throughout the bass line, but you don't need to always jump it up exactly an octave. You can try out other intervals too. For these first 2 jumps, let's move them down to the key of the track, which is E. That sounds less cheesy in my opinion than having every jump be a full octave. On to tip number 3, which is add pitch bends. This always makes your bass sound more professional. Make sure to change the pitch bend range of whatever synth you're using to 12 semitones, just so you have more flexibility. Now you can try out some different bends and see what sounds good to you. Just remember not to overdo it with the pitch bends because it can start to sound cheesy. Alright, tip number 4, here's my favorite tip. Getting this one wrong can make your song sound really bad. When you're looking to add in another bass layer on top of your main bass, I see so many producers think, alright, well I don't want to mix up the sub frequencies with the main bass, so I'm just going to move this bass an octave or 2 up. So it gets out of the way on the frequency spectrum, so it's not in the sub range. That sounds so bad though. The way to make these extra bass layers still sound cool and deep is to keep them in that low octave. But then just take a low cut filter and cut out all the low frequencies so it's not competing with that main bass. And you can do this with multiple bass layers. Here's another bass layer that I'm keeping in that same frequency range between like 40 and 80 Hz. But let me cut out everything below like 300 Hz to make room for the other 2 basses. And of course, you always want to use high quality sounds. All 3 of those bass sounds I showed you are available in my preset packs, which you can check out down below. Thanks for watching. Peace.